Hey, everybody, it's Jeff here with the Money Tracker podcast. And today is a continuation of the shows that I've been doing on how to be a better networker. This will be show number 2, where we're going to dig into it a little bit deeper of how to start building a network and how to keep track of that network. So stay tuned. We'll be back here in just 1 second. Hey, everybody, it's Jeff here with the Money Tracker podcast, and this is one of our special episodes focusing on how to be a better networker. All of us right now are trying to get back out into the world. We're coming out of COVID. A lot of us have a little bit of ring rust on us from not being in networking events for a while, or just doing Zoom events over the last year and a half. So it's time to kind of get those muscles going again. You know, it's just like going out and working out. You've got to use those muscles. You got to flex them. You got to practice some of these skills. So if you remember on the first show, we talked a little bit about the beginnings of this strategy. We talked about setting your networking goals. So figuring out what you're going to do, you know, how many referrals you're going to try and get, how many events you're going to try and go to. And remember, a lot of this is about activity. It's about going out and doing the activities that will put you in the right place to get in front of the right people. We also talked about setting up your calendar, building up your calendar to get yourself prepared. So that was, you know, color coding, if that's what works for you, like I do on my calendar, where I color code for different things. Go back, revert, or review that again if you didn't really get what I was talking about when it comes to that. And then last but not least, it was profiling 2 things. One, your perfect client, and understanding who your perfect client is so that you know who you're even looking for. As an example, let's say I was a carpet cleaner. Well, I'm probably not going to go to a place where there isn't the type of clients that are carpet cleaning clients. Let's say that, you know, I go to a convention that's all people that do tile work, and I'm a carpet cleaner. Well, that's really not good partners to work with, and it's certainly not good folks to do carpet cleaning for. So you want to think about who your ideal client is, and that's going to help guide you to what networking events you need to go to where your ideal client, or who we're going to talk about today, is, you know, figuring out who your referral marketing team is. So that's going to be the first thing that we're going to talk about, is creating a word of mouth marketing team. So what's our word of mouth marketing team? That's the people that we work with that might be, or that do work with the same clients that we do. So I'll give you an example. As a financial advisor, and specifically in my business, when I'm doing things, my business focuses on, my ideal client is a business owner that is successful. They've reached a point of success. They're not in the startup world. And they're starting to think about what that eventual exit looks like from their business. So those are my ideal clients. Those are the people I like to play with. Those are the ones that are my favorite clients that I work with every day. Now, who are the people that also play with my ideal client? Well, it may be a business transactions lawyer. It might be a CPA. It might be a banker. It might be business coaches that deal with folks that are trying to grow their business to get to that exit point. It might be virtual CFOs who are trying to help businesses get themselves in order and then start to look for that eventual exit down the road. It might be business brokers. Those are people who sell the businesses down the road. So if I can help them get to that exit and start to prepare for that exit, well, we're going to need to work with that business broker to help them sell the business down the road. Well, the business broker might have other clients that aren't quite there yet and really haven't started to think about what their exit strategy looks like. and we can work with them. These are all people that we work with in our business. So one of the things that you want to start to do, and this was some advice that I got from a business growth team that was part of one of the vendors that we deal with. And one of the things he said and suggested was make a list of the other experts that these people bring in. So like I said, in our business, who's your CPA? Who's your business attorney? Do you have one? Who is your coach that you deal with, or do you have one? All those people I want to start making a warm introduction to, because we have a common client. Now, as I start to make that warm introduction, I can get to know that new advisor or that new expert that they deal with that's new to my world. I can get to know them better. I can start to learn more about their business, and then I can spend a little bit more time learning about how I can help them. Now, that's going to be our next step in this process. So we've identified our word of mouth marketing team. We want to start meeting with them on a regular basis and all that. But when we sit down and we meet with them and we do a one-on-one, it cannot be about you. There are many, 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 many times where I've sat down in the first one-on-one with somebody. I didn't even tell them what I do in my business. I really query them about what they do, how they do it, who their clients are, who's the best referral sources for them. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be the first giver in this instance. Now, a lot of times when I meet with a new person that I'm just starting to get to know with, a potential referral partner, I've got some questions I want to ask of them. If they are trying to sell me their product right out of the gate, this will probably be the last date we have at that point, because that initial couple times that you're meeting with them and having lunch with them, it's really kind of a dating thing. You're seeing if you're compatible. You're seeing if you really want to work with that person down the road. And if you try and hard sell me on your product the first time I meet you, I'm pretty much done with you. And I'm probably not, because I'm assuming that if I refer somebody to you, you're going to be hard selling them right away. The people that I work best with and the people that get past that first date are the ones where we're just really getting to know each other and we're getting a feel for each other, and we just hit it off right away. And those are the people I know I can be comfortable handing my clients over with, and they'll be comfortable handing their clients over to me. We've got to figure that out first. Then one of the questions I ask in every single networking meeting, every single one-on-one that I do with somebody, the first question, or one of the questions I'll ask before this is all over with, who's your best referral sources? Who do you need connections with that I may be able to have in my network that I can make for you? And the reason for this is I may or may not have a referral for this person that I'm meeting right away. I'm going to think through my database, and there may be some clients that I might be able to refer to them right away and get in front of them. But if I can't think of somebody right away, if it's kind of an obscure business that doesn't necessarily relate to mine right away, I always ask, who can I help connect you with? What do you need? Who are your best referral sources? And then I will instantly, as soon as I get done with that meeting, I will go back to my office. I always make a note of that. And as soon as I possibly can, I will make email connections for those people that I identified that they need. They might say, well, I really need, I get really good referrals from, business attorneys or from family law attorneys. Well, if I know a couple family law attorneys or a couple business attorneys, as soon as I get back to my office, I make those connections right away. Why do I do that? Well, one, it shows that I'm a giver and I'm not just a taker. I'm not just expecting you to give me referrals. I am expecting you, to give me that, or I'm showing you that I'm willing to give first before I take from you. I've been a member of BNI for many, many, many years, going on almost 6 years. at this point, and one of the core tenets of BNI that I absolutely believe in wholeheartedly is giver's gain. The more you give, the more it puts it in the karma bank for you, and people will give back to you. And especially if you make really outstanding connections for them. Every time I've done this, where I've connected somebody with a key, somebody that's a key of my network, to somebody else, those are the people that have always come back to me later and like, my God, I'm so glad you connected me to Artie, or so glad you connected me to this person, because that really helped me to move on. And the other part is I'm helping my friends as well by introducing them to new people who would be ideal referral partners or clients for them as well. So that is something you've got to get out of your mind, that you're going to sell something right away. Get the commission breath off, put a little something in your mouth there to keep the commission breath out, put a little, mint in your mouth for the commission breath, get rid of that, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to come on so strong to somebody. It's just like on a first date. If you're coming on strong to somebody, they're not going to date you again. So you've got to stop that. All right. So then the final piece of this is creating a network relationship database. Could be as easy as a spreadsheet. Some people use different CRM systems. If you don't even know what a CRM system is, that's okay. But you've got to have some way of keeping track of people. Now, one of the things that I learned early on was by reading a book by Judy Robinette, was How to Be a Power Connector. Judy is a power connector. I remember connecting with her right after I read her book. And I mean, she has a system for staying on top of people and keeping them in her wheelhouse, so to speak, and really very approachable, very easy to reach out to. And Judy had a system that actually came out of some research that had been done that said that we as humans can only really truly maintain about 150 to 200 relationships at any given time. But we have layers of those relationships. So we might have, 5 people that we have direct connections with. Literally, they're the people that you would call if you got thrown in jail. Those are people you interact with on a regular basis, almost on a daily basis. Then there's the top 50. Those are your people that either they're great referral sources for you, they're great connections for you, they're great at helping connect you to others, or they're people that you're really pursuing from a client relationship standpoint, you're pursuing them. And so those people you're really interacting with every few weeks just to stay on top of the game. And then there's 100 people that are out there that are kind of in your sphere of influence. You're not necessarily interacting with them on a daily, weekly, even monthly basis, but every 60 or so days, you're kind of interacting with them to check in on them and everything else. So one of the things that myself and a friend of mine did was develop a spreadsheet that actually kept track of that 5, 50, and 100 people. And the nice part about it is we created a little functionality inside of it that updates the last time you talked to them. And then as you're starting to get to the point of needing to reach back out to them, it automatically starts to turn from green to yellow to red. Red meaning, okay, it's time, you've got to reach out and contact those folks. It's a very simplistic, very simple and easy system to keep track of that 200 or 150 people that are kind of in your sphere of influence at all times. Inside the show notes page of this, there is a link. Click on that link. It'll take you to a landing page, and you can just give me your information. Just give me your email address, and I will actually give that to you for free. I want people to be better at networking, and I'm not going to charge anybody for that for that piece of software. And it's an Excel spreadsheet. So feel free, go in there, log into it, and just we'll send you that free version of it so that you can enjoy keeping track of your folks. Once again, I'd encourage you to dig into the 29% solution, get the book. I'm kind of covering this at a really, really high level. And I want you to just be able to see, all right, here now, let's put this into practice. And we're covering these shows. These are individual weeks. So we just covered 3 weeks of the program in 15 minutes or so. So we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to go over the last little bit of what we're going to talk about today, which is the top 10 things that you need to do to be a better networker. And that's the end of the first section of the book. Hello, it's Jeff here for BK Wealth Consulting. BK Wealth Consulting is a wealth management and registered investment advisory firm with a little bit of a twist. BK works specifically with small business owners and self-employed individuals. And the whole idea is to help business owners and self-employed folks figure out a strategy to exit from their businesses. So whether it is a business valuation, developing an investment and financial plan and strategy, or developing an exit strategy plan for your business, BK is there to help you and has the skills and the talent to do it. So if you want to learn more, go to www.bkawealth.com. That is www.bkawealth.com. Hey, it's Jeff here for T-Works Coworking. T-Works Coworking is a shared office space with everything from desks for you to share up to offices and everything in between. And T-Works has locations in Cedar Park, Texas, in Northwest Austin in the Four Points area, and Dripping Springs. So if you need a place to work, you need to get out of the house, you need some help really building up your business, visit www.t-works.com. That's www.t-works.com. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are talking today. This is show number 2 of the review of How to Be a Better Networker and 29% Solution by Dr. Ivan Misner. And the last thing we're going to talk about today are what he calls the top 10 traits for a networker. So we're going to go through those relatively quickly. I encourage you once again, read the book. You can dig into this a little bit more. So, number 1 of the top 10 traits, timely follow-up on referrals. And I can't tell you how important that is. If somebody has referred business to you, you need to immediately follow up on that. You need to reach out to that referral. You need to keep reaching out to them, have some regularity about that. And, sometimes somebody refers somebody to you and they may not have done a good job of setup, and the client may not refer to you or not take your calls or not respond to your emails. Well, you need to make several attempts. And then if you're not getting through to them, the other side of the follow-up is you need to go back and let that person know, hey, I tried like 3 times to reach out to them. I tried to call them, tried to leave a message for them via email. Neither of them seemed to work. So I just wanted to let you know that I didn't let it, just go away. Number 2 of the top 10 traits, positive attitude. I cannot tell you how annoying it is to have somebody that you're just around that is just negative about everything. Those are the people that you just don't want to interact with. And the same thing is true of you. If you're negative about everything or about a lot of different things and you're not projecting positivity, nobody's going to refer business to you because they don't even like being around you. So why would they refer their friends, neighbors, and clients to you in that case? Another related thing, number 3 on the traits, is enthusiasm and motivation. You've got to be enthusiastic about what you do. What you don't want to do is, well, yeah, I'll be glad to talk to them, and maybe I can, help them or not. Okay, well, I'm not going to refer anything to you because I don't even trust that you're going to care enough to really be motivated and help this client out. So once again, I want to make sure that I am giving, that positivity, that enthusiasm, that motivation, so that it encourages people to refer to me. And it also encourages people that are referred to me to say, hey, this is a person I want to be around. The next one is trustworthiness. This is one that can hurt you so much. If you say, well, I'm going to do something and you don't do it, that's bad. I've had this happen many times in my life, and it comes back to bite you if you don't follow up on things. So this is something you've got to be trustworthy. If you're asking for somebody to trust you to refer clients to them, you've got to treat that person just like they were a family member or one of your own clients at that point, and be trustworthy. Follow up with the person who referred it as well. Good listening skills is critical. So that's the next one on the list. Good listening skills. When you're dealing with a client, when you're dealing with somebody in a one-to-one, ask poignant questions and then let them talk. The best advice I ever learned in sales was you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use it that way. You want to make sure that you are listening to what people say. And if you're asking good, open-ended, non-yes or no questions, you're going to get lots of information. People like to talk about themselves. They do not care about you and want to hear about all of who you are. One of the things that drives me crazy is where people feel like they have to, tell everybody, oh, well, this is how great I am. These are all the certifications I have and licenses and all that. I've got 5 or 6 different certifications, multiple licenses and all that. And most of the time when I'm sitting down with a client, I don't tell them about any of that. First off, they probably already looked me up in most cases on LinkedIn or someplace else. So they already know that I've got a bunch of letters behind my name, but that's not important. That's not important for them. What's important for them is, do I come off and am I the person who is qualified enough to help them? So very important that you listen to what people say, let them talk, and they'll tell you a lot of things that you really just have to clarify then after that. All right, next one on the list, number 6, is commitment to networking 24/7. This, I cannot tell you, is just something that you have to do. You have to be committed to networking, whether it is, out in real actual face-to-face networking, going to, networking events, but this is also networking in the form of, hey, maybe you find a couple groups online that are niche groups that you want to be involved with, and you're participating in those activities. You're actually going out there, answering questions that people may have, commenting, sharing posts for people, all those type of things, making sure that you are building a network 24/7 and you're working hard at building that network. Next one, 7, gratitude. And I can't tell you how much gratitude. One, that's part of my routine in the morning. I have a gratitude. I just say it out loud, something that I'm grateful for every day. And I just think that's a positive trait that I developed, and a positive habit that I developed. But gratitude is also, somebody gives me a referral. I want to make sure that either I'm just sending them a card in the mail, and some of that can be automated. I'll share with you an automated service that I use. So as long as I have somebody's mailing address, I can send them a physical card. It costs me like $1, and it's worth of every bit of it, of just sending a written card to them that says, hey, thank you so much for sending that referral over to us. In some cases, we might send a gift card or something like that to just say, hey, thanks, we really truly appreciate it. Helpfulness, always looking to be helpful for your network, looking to be helpful for your clients. And specifically though, that network, how can I help you? How can I, is there something I can do? Is there something I can help you connect with, or a person I can help you to connect with to be able to, move you on a little bit farther? Always trying to be helpful. And I think what dovetails into that, number 9, sincerity. You're not doing that. You're not trying to be helpful to somebody because you're trying to get business from them. You can't think that way. You've got to be sincere about it. You've got to really truly care that, hey, somebody needs help and I'm going to figure out ways to help them. All of my clients know, and I am completely sincere about this, all of my clients know if they need something, or if they're trying to find a contractor, or they're trying to find anything, I'm a walking Rolodex. And for those that even remember what a Rolodex is, but I'm a walking database, let's put it that way, of different connections and different businesses and everything else. So people just know they can come to me and say, hey, do you know somebody that does? And my answer is always, well, I got a guy or I got a gal that does that. Sure, let me connect you with them. Let me make a quick email connection to them. And they know I'm sincere about that. And I'm not asking for them to do more business with me or buy something from me. I'm just sincere about it. But, that sincerity, that helpfulness ends it. Once again, I always say it's like the karma bank. You put more and more into the karma bank, eventually you're going to get to take a withdrawal from it. And that's the way I've run my networking life for the last 8 years of my life. And just cresting over today, looking at I've got somewhere around 7,000 connections just on LinkedIn alone, of people that pretty well I've met with most of them one-to-one. Some of them it's been online because they're out of state, but a very good large chunk over 8 years I've met with one-to-one and gotten to know a little bit. Last but not least, dedicating to working on one's network. You've got to be dedicated to this. You can't just go, now I just said this, well, I have about 7,000 connections on LinkedIn. Well, that's all fine and dandy. It's like people that say, well, I've got 100,000 Instagram connections, or 100, 1,000 or 1,500 Facebook connections or whatever. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but if you're not doing anything with them, who cares? It doesn't matter. I use a system for LinkedIn that is automated, and that helps me to stay in contact with all the people that I have. And I regularly kind of go through my list of contacts. I cull some out that I just really hadn't had any interaction with. Maybe they connected to me and I didn't really see a connection, but I regularly cull people out of my LinkedIn connections. But then I go through and I use, like I said, I use an automated system called Duck Soup to do this, to keep working on them, keep reaching out to them, keep inviting them to events that I'm putting on, sharing the podcast that I do with them. All of this stuff I'm doing on a regular basis just to keep in front of that group of people that I have. And they're not all going to need my services now, may not need it ever, but they'll eventually know. And I keep reaching out to them and not asking them to buy something. I'm asking them, hey, here's a new show that I've put up, or here's an event that we're putting on here in town. So that is the show 2. This is the last of that first section of the book, which is preparing for your future. The next episode of the show will be on Tuesday, and that show is going to focus on now starting to build your plan of attack, getting out there, taking action, getting out in public, really looking at the audience, looking at the connections you currently have, and looking for ways to start to really identify the people that you need to be focusing on first in your existing network, and where you need to go to build your further network over and above that. So I'm glad you stayed on today. Look forward to seeing you here in a couple days.